But the one gripe I have with this rifle, and you'll see it, I showed you guys in the video, when you have fired your... All right, everyone, so it has been a long time and you guys have been requesting it and I have been MIA. There's really no good excuse, but I finally have the Mossberg Patriot testing it at 100 yards, and I know you guys are dying to see the results. So without further ado, let's get right to it. All right, you guys, so for those that have subscribed to me in the last year, you guys have probably ran into this video where I have taken the Mossberg Patriot and I slapped it onto an MDT LSS chassis. This thing looks ultra sexy. I love it. It's got your vertical grip, which I love, versus the whole angled factor. Just not a fan of it. Love this. It comes with a 5-round magazine and, of course, completely free-floating barrel. Okay, I did end up slapping a Buckmaster's 3x9x40 on here. So again, this was not supposed to be a bank-breaking build, but more so to really see if we can get something out of this Mossberg Patriot, or if it is a lost cause. Because we have seen a whole bunch of YouTubers out there, especially backcountry or backyard. He absolutely murders this firearm in terms of reviews, and I mean, he put it to the test, right? He shot rounds through it and he didn't like it. So I myself own a Mossberg Patriot, and I was shooting not like groups like his was. I mean, he got 2 different ones. He had bought one, then Mossberg sent him another one to try, and he still was having the same issues. So I wanted to see if we can do a type of build where not only does it look sick, but it is functionally sick as well, to where we can bring it out in the field when we're hunting and have that confidence that it's going to land us, you know, deer meat, aka venison, aka that nice buck when one presents itself. So I brought this thing out into the range and sighted it in. I'm not going to show you guys me sighting it in at 25 yards, then 50 yards, and then bringing it all the way up to 100. It gets really boring in my opinion. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you guys clips of when I had sighted it in at 25, 50, and then out at 100. And then my shoulder was pretty sore after that. So I took it home, and then the following day shot this thing cold with 2 different types of ammunition. One is the core locked, which is what Hootie Who actually really liked, and he showed really good groupings on it. And then one was random. I don't know what it was. It was like a mystery round. I honestly don't remember what was in it, but it shot very well also. Maybe just because I was so excited to actually shoot this thing. So without further ado, let's take you guys into the range. Okay, so here is our grouping. I would say that's about just a little over 1 MOA. Actually really happy with that. So obviously I'm aiming center, so it is up, maybe a little bit up and to the right. So I'm going to make a couple adjustments and let's see if we can get this closer to that. Pretty excited about that. All right. I like this grouping. I did send one up an inch high, but you cannot be pissed at this. Ooh! Look at this grouping. Yep, that's about a 1 MOA. Show is 1, 2, 3. Look at this shot placement. Let's freaking go. So here it is, guys. We've been waiting on the update on the Mossberg Patriot 308. It is beautiful. We'll be shooting these Remington core lock tips, 165 grain. Hootie Hoo shot these and he said these were really good. Okay, so shot it pretty decent group, if I'm not gonna say so myself, but I realized that I was not shooting the core locked tips. I was shooting whatever these were. I think they were like whitetail, Winchester, just generics. Still grew pretty good, but now I'm gonna shoot your Remington 165 grain core lock tips. Jeez. All right, you guys, so here we are. This was the first group we shot. I mean, it is about one-ish MOA. This was the Remington core locked. This is 100 yards, guys. Don't mind the paper. This is just what the club offers to give us free access to paper targets. But this is the first shot cold, and then this is the Remington 165 grain. So 100 yards, I mean, that's amazing. That'll kill any deer if you are hunting. All right, you guys. So again, here's our targets. You know, right there. Right there. All right. So if I don't have a ruler right now, but the tip of my finger is 1 inch. So we're just a little over, maybe 1.5 inches MOA at 100 yards on the very infamous bad-mouthed Mossberg Patriot at 100 yards. That was the Remington core locked. Here's the other one, right? This one, about the same thing, but 1.5 inches, 2 inches from this one to this one, but these two group really well. And we got that. So again, I'm part of this club, guys, that's really, really cool, where we just have access to all these paper targets. So we got this one, got this one, got this one. Pretty much any target you want, which is really cool. That's part of being a club member at this outdoor range, which is really neat. Okay, so I told you guys I wasn't going to show you the other clips, but I just went ahead and included it in there for you guys to see. Don't know why I didn't bring the Bog Death Grip, but you guys saw that I showed you guys the grouping from like 25 yards to 50 yards to 100 yards. And guys, I think we have a winner, to be honest. I'm more than pleased and more than happy with this build. Again, it is my first real like upgrade on a bolt action rifle that came stock on your traditional hunter chassis. And as traditional as they are, I just think that these new MDT chassis are so sick that I would love to slap every single rifle that I buy with a traditional chassis and slap it onto this chassis, to be honest. Or one of the newer ones, maybe the HNT, which is their super lightweight hunter chassis. But in terms of performance, no one can ever say anything anymore about the Mossberg Patriot. So let me know what you guys think. I know there's going to be a lot out there with opinions like, well, if you're going to shell out money on the chassis and on the optic. Guys, remember, everything on here technically is pretty, I would say, budget friendly. There's a difference between cheap and budget friendly. And these are not cheap by any means. Like, this chassis was about $500-600, And then this SIG Buckmasters, I think, was around 100 or 150. You can find them super cheap, to be honest, if they're on sale. But the clarity on this optic, really, really clear. I love it. Really good eye relief, and it's really, really crisp. And I mean, it held zero very, very well. All of this is torque to spec, which is cool because their rings tell you how many pounds to torque them to. So I think it's really cool, guys, to be honest. Okay. So the one gripe, the one con I have in all of this, including the whole build, right? Because I love it. I love the fact that it's got this mag on here, and you can even increase the magazine capacity. This is a 5-round magazine capacity. You can go all the way up to 10, 15 rounds. You could go buck wild with it. But the one gripe I have with this rifle, and you'll see it, I showed you guys in the video, when you have fired your round, okay, you will notice that if you are in the highest magnification, see this little knob right here? If you go to reload, they hit each other. That's the only gripe I have. Now, I can probably remove that. I can remove this, unscrew it, and then it'll just be a normal, twister. But I like having the little knob because it makes it easy for me to actuate between 3 power and 9 power. So in the video, you'll see me take a shot, and then I'll kind of move this up a little bit so that I can reload and then turn this back down. Not really ideal. Again, if you want, you can remove this little knob, and so that way when you're shooting, it always stays on 9, and then when you have to adjust the magnification, you can just do it like a normal dial. So pick your poison. To be honest, for me, it wasn't really that big of a deal, especially if you're just in the range. Take a shot, move this up, reload, put this back down, readjust for the shot. So again, that's really my only con. But with that being said, let me know what you guys think. Would you, if you have a Mossberg Patriot, like I know there's a couple out there, would you be interested in slapping it into an MDT chassis? Especially this one. This one's good to go right out of the box. You don't need to worry about the buttstock. You don't need to worry about anything else. You just purchase the LSS chassis from MDT, upgrade the optic that it came with, and you have yourself a pretty sick rifle, to be honest. This, I'd have to do the calculations. I apologize, I didn't really think about it. I'm kind of thinking about it as I'm talking here. But in terms of cost, it is just, I'm talking just over $1,000. So if you already have the Mossberg Patriot, instead of going up and purchasing like a Tikka or whatever else rifle you want because you're upset with the Mossberg Patriot or it's not performing like you want it to, would you consider just buying a new chassis and an optic, or would you just buy a whole new rifle outright? I'd be curious what you guys would choose. For me, I already had the Mossberg Patriot. I'm personally a little stubborn, and so when I saw that video from Backyard Shooting or Backyard Shot, it almost activated like a challenge accepted sort of thing and took my Mossberg Patriot. Not only did I make it look sick, it shoots pretty well now, to be honest, in terms of the grouping. And so I wanted to show you guys really quickly here while I have you. Here is my shots. Again, you will see that this is 100 yards. So this is really, really cool. So on top here, this is 1.5. These two are 1.5 MOA. This is a 1-inch MOA, so still pretty tight. Down here, 1.25, 1.25, 1.5, and 3/4. So again, right, if you are at 100 yards and you shot a deer, it would perform pretty admirably, to be honest. And so that really speaks for itself in terms of accuracy and performance. I'm really happy with it, to be honest. Unless you just really, really upgrade to some multi-$1,000 rifle where the shots are like touching each other, Well, I mean, if you got the dough to shell out for it, then you got the dough to shell out for it. But for some of us out here that are looking for, you know, entry level or budget friendly options that will just perform and land us that buck, the Mossberg Patriot with an LSS chassis is pretty sick to me. And again, to me, I think it really looks amazing, and I couldn't be happier shooting it at 100 yards and seeing that kind of shot. So that is pretty much everything that we have today. Thank you for waiting on the update on this build, because I know you guys were waiting for a long time. Some of you have inquired like, yo, where's the update? Did it shoot? Did it fail? And so there we have it. That's all for today. I will see you guys in the next one.